patient with my issues.
We love you.
I'm not going back. Two rats are in the hole, and our bruises are coming, but we will never fold. And I was your silver line, as the story goes. And I was your silver line, but now I'm gold. Hooray, hooray, I'm your silver lining. Hooray, hooray, but now I'm gold. I was your silver line, high up on my toes. We were running through fields of hitchhikers, as the story goes. Hooray, hooray, I'm your silver lining. Hooray, hooray, but now I'm gone. The grass, it was a chicken, and the sun was on the rise, and I never felt so wicked as when I willed our love to die. Hooray, hooray, I'm your silver line. Hooray, hooray, but now I'm gone. Hooray, hooray, I'm your silver line. Hooray, hooray, but now I'm gone. Now I'm gone. Now I'm gone.
Yeah.
There's no Ellis in it, everyone.
Woo! Woo!
Oh, Leslie, and I didn't think I could possibly not do any more than that. That was great. All right. So now we're kicking off the poetry part of this. And so before we get to the great parts, hey, I gotta pretend to be modest at least. For my whole get up, you know. Wearing the glasses so I can pretend I'm smart. Wearing the hat so people might think I have hair.
Loves.
That's how you compliment. All right. Oh yes. So please welcome my Viking drum bitch, Jeremy Benjamin. All right. You can use the big ones if you want to. All right. Really rock it. I just really want to. I can't help it. I really want to say me so funny right now.
I don't believe you.
We don't need to discuss that right now. All right. So. Are you ready to rock? Then rock slow. This piece is called I Tried. Just I tried. She was a strict vegetarian. The day after we split up, I broke into her car and placed a pound of hamburger in the driver's seat. I get that way sometimes. Very easy to stop believing what people say when it's the first time we meet. You're sweet, or you seem really nice. More often than not, I just get too tired to even try to meet their standards. I just turn to the person that everyone who has known me long enough expects me to be. The guy who can't walk past a street preacher without screaming lines from The Exorcist. The guy who got head from a deformed, toothless midget slam poet in the bar bathroom and then felt guilty because I fucked the slam poet. The one who carries knives in my coat because I remember being bullied as a child until I would tackle the bully and then bite off chunks of their ear. Now, short, skinny, and bald, I feel like someone's ideal target. But more often than not, I am the problem. One time, I was invited to see a poet play jazz music in his apartment. His poetry sucked. So did his trumpet playing. Then he called me Stan, mistaken for someone else. Bruised ego. I was about to leave. Then I heard the host say he had to go to the bathroom. So I beat him there. And I did have to piss. But I'm not even trying to hit the bowl. The hell with him. The puddle stretches to the bathroom door and I leave. And it all made me laugh. I didn't care that it was his bathroom. Or that he fell when he walked in. Or that he had multiple sclerosis. His poetry sucks. But I really am trying.
Wrong.
So, the rest of the poetry is going to be a bit different.
Is that your new one that you wrote?
What?
Was that a new one?
These are all, I don't think any of these have been read live, so let's not measure it that way. I write too much to figure out what's new. It's internal. So, this piece is called Strange Invitations. It's in 3 parts. I like being pretentious to like piss off rednecks who used to go to readings. The ones that say fuck poetry and then look the book of poetry. You know who they are. Strange Invitations. Part 1. Rip out all the red things. Seems a simple way to stop the ache. First, I must break through bone and skin. More hurting. Stop complaining. Thinking is simply another way to invite pain. And for that, already more invitations have been sent. More than a royal wedding. Some of me seems more misshapen and fragile. Like crafted, not born and grown. Like blown glass, this easily cracked heart may as well just crack at the splinters, prevent any further damage. The hand skin will shred for a bit, a little more hurt, but only a little, like one little war that will prevent all others. 2. I dreamed that I was a decomposing baby, full of spoiled curdled milk that came from the breast of Dickens herself. With nothing in my mouth now, I cry and try to crawl back to my mother. 3. Living alone in the shadow house of my own madness, behind all the trees, too tired to even grow fruit, but still living. I watch as some people still walk outside, still put on their human faces, and even want to talk to each other. Such strange creatures. I keep my face rolled up in my pocket, just in case I do want to mingle. But I notice it's starting to wrinkle a bit. All the fear here alone to me. I used to shove the needle into my vein, push a plunger, dream a dream filled with all the fear my parents gave me. I would slumber, still awake, invisible even to myself, told by my mother a list of things that would send me to hell. And I had already done them, or wanted to. Smack, I would sink below the earth. Going to hell? Maybe, but I was convinced that I was born and raised there. So I assumed that damnation was just the drugs wearing off. Jeremy, Mom, don't let your run dry. As if. So I wrote a poetry opera. It was called A Scary Place Inside My Head. And I was listening to the wall the entire time I wrote this. And so it took me a month to write. And there's not too much difference between the character Pink and myself. But so the whole poem is in 26 sections and it's over 40 pages long, but I'm just picking a few of the shorter pieces in each of it. So it's kind of random, but they should stand on their own. Part 2. Perhaps your mother loved you, cradled here with her razor blade arms. Perhaps your father loved you as much as he said, with every inch of his body. Then you start to think that maybe love is not so great. Oh baby, you will grow old, and not so innocent, but still as soft and helpless as a baby. Your nerves were burnt away because you needed to have a lot of nerve when those things fell behind you. Everything under your skin became ash. You became frail and nervous, walking on eggshells. It made you feel fat as they all broke, even though you were barely more than bones. You nearly went deaf from the cracking sound, but that didn't stop you from hearing the voices. Try to keep on walking. Eventually you'll get to another road. Drag your shadow behind you, leakage from the dark of your soul. The shadows are so heavy. The eggshell sidewalk breaks. You will drown in the yolk. Part 5. I don't need this. The pretending that I'm learning. The inquisition to see if I can fake some sort of wisdom. I have no wisdom. I have the hunger to be intelligent, which some people mistake as being the same thing. Pull me from the classrooms. Bury me under a mountain of books. Never again ask me what I understand. I understand nothing. I understand everything. Part 8. Congratulations. You understand things better. The secret messages were all around, and not so secret. They were everywhere in your world. They're graffiti on the walls inside your head. You understand the language that is written in scars and claw marks. All you had to do was listen. The grown-up world, where everyone who has something to say to you has a swarm of flies coming from their mouths. They crawl through your ears, your wounds, your mouth. Then they begin to lay their eggs, because some part of you is still warm. Some part of you is alive. Some part of you has hope. You are a perfect nest, little one. And the eggs hatch. They go from maggots to vultures, feeding until they're full and sharpening their claws, until there is nothing left and they are hungry again. See how important it is to listen. Don't even try to speak. Your attempts at words will leave a violated emptiness, floating in the already sad open air. Welcome to the madhouse where none of the doctors can remember what sanity is. So they try the same treatment, hoping a new breakthrough will come. Be patient, dear patient. You knew this was coming. You read the story of your future inside your head. It was written all over the walls. So I'm going to read 2 more poems. They're both kind of longer. Let's give a round of applause just to Jeremy. Great. All right. So this is a newer poem I wrote, even though I think all of them are fairly new in some ways. I finished this like 3 days ago, so I guess it does qualify as new. It's hard to explain what I was going for in this poem. I was trying to focus on a similar subject, but do it partially surreal and partially like Bukowski and realistic. It's in 6 parts. It's called How Life Is. 1. It is funny to think about the rough times. In some ways, they don't die. They got a new birth as poems. At least I am now able to keep them in their cribs, a good distance away. The part that makes it so funny is that I can birth the ache and the remembered wounds, the bottomless pit of old sadnesses, while things are utterly fine. I sit here drinking coffee, typing these words into the computer, kind of searching for damages to prove that this old tank actually was in the war that it remembers. It isn't the machine gun fire that'll get you. It's the rust. Part 2. Saw a movie a few days back. Had a reference to cockfighting. Never really went to one of those, but as a teenager, a heroin addict wanting more cash, I would mingle with the wannabe gangster kids. They had a weekend gamble. Would go to the local Walmart, pick up a few of the brightly covered Japanese fighting fish, and place bets on which would win. Sometimes the winner would walk away with a couple $100, but not often. More regularly, just about 40. And nowadays, I just look back and feel guilty about things. And ghost fish swim behind me on these nights. When I wish to erase these big chunks of my life, even lottery tickets make me feel a slight echo of guilt. And on these nights, when it hurts too much, when I have proven to be allergic to myself, behind my pillow is a valley of guilt, where the old junkie friends look towards me. The people I had mugged find my address, and there is a river of bruised red and blue fish who ended up floating with tiny bones sticking out of their skin. They are fine here. They imagine breaking me in half with their tails. Part 3. Just to make poetry sends one back to the blending together of beauty and misery. I just have to remember my teens. There were so many gorgeous locations to wander across in the death time. Never mind. Would wander across my uncle's farm after my fiance died. The Eastern Oregon hills, late February, early March, still cold as fuck. I am a cold, dead fuck, I think to myself. And perhaps in beautiful places are the best places to suffer. And even as ugly and roped in the procedure as things were, there was still something pretty, as I would sit on top of a haystack, watch my uncle hauling cattle to the barn. Cows will shit in synchronicity when wine. And it made the music I put on my headphones to drown out the local alternative station playing 3 in a row of the same artist over the weekend. Garbage started with only happy when it rains. It rarely rained there. I would feel my abscesses amidst her. The routine felt useless now. Later that night, I borrowed my uncle's shotgun and sat in the alfalfa fields listening to Nirvana. Put the barrel to my head, pulled the trigger and fell over. Neglected to realize the safety was on. Neglected to realize I wasn't killed, and just stood there until sunrise, neglecting everything. Part 4. It is easy to recall so much and name it damage, to relegate it for time, as if that period of living, crushed under the weight of a bad spirit, acting as a killer asteroid. But I have outlived that life. After the dark day Armageddon, floated in space, found a new planet to live on, alien from the desert world, not too far away, plummeted, then survived the fall onto a greener world. This world of poets, where everyone is an immigrant and an alien, and they love if you can show off what makes you foreign. They want to know of your own world, beaten to craters. The ugly past is part of the patchwork future we whip up. Because suffering is such a pretty paint to wear on your face. Never mind how hard it is to wash off. And the poets know life, but are afraid all of it that we have left are the shards of glass in our sides. But always the poets choose this. Life is fairly soft and easy and warm, but it makes us afraid we are soft, so we plunge into the more shallow parts of the pool. To hit the bottom, become busted up, to know we still live well enough to die, as we have watched friends do it, via the needle, the shotgun, the car wreck, left behind and left with the image they have. A notebook full of chunks of their soul lying in a room, and that room not being put up for rent, the soul being boxed away, and that is what the living do to the recently evicted, and poets pay the rent eventually by being evicted. Part 5. When I first became aware of my disease, the liver turning to scar tissue, it was preceded by great pain, and yet, living in the mindset that I had for so long, I didn't go to the doctor. It is just pain, I told myself, and lived under the assumption that what hurts now will hurt forever. One day at my warehouse job, someone dropped a crate on my foot and broke 3 bones in it. To go with it, because of the infections, my feet already hurt, super swollen and sensitive. It hurt quite a bit to walk, but I needed to get used to pain. And there was a poetry reading that night, so I decided to walk there. The reading was 80 blocks from my house. When the pain got too heavy and I became tempted to take the bus, I remembered 10 years earlier when I was 16, working as a ranch hand, herding cattle with a 4-wheeler through the back desert, sideswiped by a cow, the machine knocked over. My leg bent and I pulled it away. And I hobbled, trying to lift up the 4-wheeler, to no avail. Then go walking the highway, hoping to get a ride. On my walk, hear a rattle sound, but my vision not focused. Then I feel the sting, as then a snake with bare fangs flames up. Of course it bit me in my good leg. And I hunch over with pocket knife to cut X in the leg, placing pressure on bent leg, tearing shirt to make slight bites, walking not sure how long, finally make it to dead road, set down in 100-degree heat. After about an hour or so, car comes. Claims he only saw me when he went to swerve to smash rattlesnakes sunning on the road. I remember laughing when safely in the hospital, thinking it was all like a Three Stooges routine. And these moments are the ones keep me hobbling as I walk over the Burnside Bridge to keep myself strong. They made it through the reading, to the bathroom, and threw up once I got there. I knew this would be a good battle with myself. Seeing me limping, a friend offered me a ride back, saying it's no trouble at all. He is giving several people rides. And I say it is best if I don't, so that I become used to this. Besides, I'm not one of those worthless, pussy bags of shit that needs to be carted around whenever he has a boo-boo. So then I walk away, tap a poet on the shoulder. Your ride's ready, Tommy. Part 6. Someday we may just be down to one, the last of the poets, in Portland at least. And I think about this, as strength and words fall for me at about the same time, and I think about the dead alleyways of town, not sinister, too empty, yet we wander, choosing not to stay. Only the dark stays here, and those of us who are afraid of the dark will be too afraid to write down, I am afraid of the dark. There are people wearing the skins of poets, afraid to paint the bullseye onto themselves, which is the true marking of the beast. Written on our skin is the invitation to new abuse. And we make our nests in heaps of our old trauma, going rancid. My father beat and raped me regularly. My mother starved, berated, and bound me. I put myself full of every poison that would mess with my mind. My first love died. The landscape I walked upon burned away my shoes and turned to broken glass. In my murdered mind, I have a nest that works well as a fortress, where I can work, building poems, making paper bullets to shoot at those dumb enough to read or listen. And the fallen bodies make the outer wall of the fortress. And people will see all the mess, all the trouble that goes into this. Decided it's better to paint, better to make music, best to leave poetry for the lunatics. And no one wants to admit they are a lunatic. Here in my last can hope more poets to be born and be cured eventually. But let them do much work first. Let the insane be cured, but please never let the insanity die out. Thank you, Jeremy. Interest, a crazy motherfucker. If I'm going to use, well, okay, I spent the last 20 minutes basically doing nothing but cussing, so I don't know that. And I know this guy. I love him like he's one of my other forgotten siblings. I have a few of those. And Jessica, the barista here, I was telling her about him, and I was like, well, hearing Mike G is, for the first time, is something that doesn't happen much. You know. Why not? Well, if you haven't heard, you're about to find out. It's kind of like your hymen being broken, except it's attached to your brain. So, please welcome Mike G.
Thank you, Curtis. Thank you. It's just a pleasure to be here in this beautiful place. Everybody, if you haven't experienced the wonderful drink and food they have here, if you're able, please. It's very good. Oh, I just got a couple thoughts on my mind here, so. You know, I think my biggest theme is the sense of cosmic homeless that pretty much everybody has. It's like, you know, is there a real fucking home? Well, I'm always looking for one, and that leads to the tension of why I'm a writer, so I'll start with this. Through rain-beaded glasses, I see you standing alone across the street in a red party dress, smoking a white cigarette beneath the green awning of a grocery store. An Alice in Wonderland poster is affixed to the window to your left. It's late on a Friday night and somehow we're alone. I light a Pall Mall to wake my guts up. Are you the woman with lots of cash my dad's always telling me to meet? He also says don't talk to strangers, so I just stand here not sure what to do. But then you motion with a white-gloved hand for me to come. You take my hand, we enter the store and find ourselves standing at a long table covered with a red and black checkered tablecloth, behind which sits the Mad Hatter. Would you like to stay for beer? He says. You mean tea? I say. My name's Emily, the girl says. I'll stay if you stay. Or maybe you have some business to attend to, the Mad Hatter says. You followed me to be happy, didn't you? Emily says. Stay here with us, please. I didn't want to mention the cash or how much she had or didn't have. At that moment, it seemed to moot. Emily's cartoonish eyes were the same eyes as the animated princesses I lost my mind in preschool when I first became addicted to beauty, and the heart's insomniatic buzz when it thinks it loves. I tugged at my goatee, rubbed my head. What about my obligations, my jobs, my friends? They'll be fine, Emily says. Your friends will be glad. You finally found a home at the end of your path, and your jobs, fuck them! You'll never have to work here. Look! I follow the sweep of her delicate white fingers, and as far as I can see are kegs of beer. Then Tweedledum and Tweedledee appear with giant, steaming pizzas. So, is it yes or no? The Mad Hatter says. Emily hands me a chilled mug, unbuttons her shirt. Hell yes. This is called Banshee. The mighty tree claws the night, but no ice falls. No angels with healing wands dive bomb the grief. No hole opens to the hollow earth, exposing the hidden dolphin Zionist council. No supplies jettisoned from allies on planet Viagra. No help coming. This wailing is no wind, it's the banshee. We've endured the burden of damaged adults our entire lives, and I'm not sure what God the Father, with his sick, mutilated, foreskin fetish deserves. That's why I'm a writer. If God the Father were to ask me who the fuck I am, I'd look at it, square in the eye, say, I am nothing. Just a dream of becoming in a cloak of skin with a hole through a mouth that says, why do you have to fuck up everything all the time? Meanwhile, Obama's made a nice career from being corporate war machine white as we play with our light brights and Legos, watching cartoons with cheap wine. Afghanistan, Pakistan, Palestine, Somalia, everywhere knows no hope coming. The wailing is no wind, it's the banshee. Here we are in Salem with the HR investigative monsters. I scribble oracular profundities in the margins of my mind parasites book. My twitching, maladjusted grin hiding behind the cover. And you are crying as the HR monsters open the binder to your crimes. They've been stalking both your van and person. They admit this casually as if they're sane. To treat humans like resources to be used, like rocks, makes a nice career. And the psychiatrist sees nothing wrong with this. This Harvard hack animating a suit actually said this. No help coming. The banshee sings, and the wind is whipping like Medusa's head. You're dead, you're dead, you're dead. I reject the dimension of time and Buddha's extinguishment gospel. I won't be crowned underfoot by the abstract or the lie. I've witnessed horrible business women point and laugh at the special ed choir. That was real, and real was the banshee ranting in her cart of stars and garbage. The business women will probably die comfortable in their beds with best medicine and friends holding their hands. There is no karma. Karma is just another lie to dupe the stupid and the kind. Vengeance is mine, the banshee agrees. She weaves a dandelion in her lank hair of rotting gray drapes, violates my mouth with rotting gray tongue. She is naked banshee of the spoken word. She loves me like no human can. Finally, a little black girl lands the nutcracker lead. My neighbor Gary summed up the news like this. Tchaikovsky ignition, you niggers and nutcracker. Gary also thinks the redwood is a weed to be extracted from his lawn. I think Tchaikovsky, the little black girl in the redwood, would agree with my decision to edit Gary out of the book of life. Bite it, redneck! No help coming! The banshee somersaults and claps, and now she sings for me. Tonight, my critics, the ice pigs, will come to make quick work of the Mike G corpse. And the wind is whipping like Medusa's head. I'm dead, I'm dead, I'm dead. I've got a lot of friends who've had issues with human resources departments and psychiatrists. It's really a fucking crime that this is the best we can do in America as far as health goes. Well, this is called Chained. Well, this one had pink hair, wore that famous blue dress, 90 pounds, alien wet. She chained me to the porch near the bucket of beer, the masturbating monkeys, and of course the dolphins. Always the dolphins, chain-smoking Marlboro Red 100s, looking bored and bound. I am chained. Candy! Forget about me, she says. Cold is her voice. Cold is her voice. Inhuman, I say! Then she ditches me for planet California. I watch long as she staggers off, 3 a.m. wild, over the lawn, past the plaid, into the wind, gone. I I can't sleep for shit in these chains. Old lady morning pedals past on her tricycle, long gray pigtails bouncing. With crazed smile she faces me, sings, wild is my face, wild is your fate. Once in summer she shed the blue dress, ripped the pasties from her nipples, threw her panties over her shoulder, beckoned me with human eyes, and we went streaking past the cows, tractors, children of Yamhill, Oregon. Returned to dance naked on tables, singing to each other's faces, and we were free to drink, to puke, to die. I can't find my eye patch. Somewhere on planet California, she wears it now. Eating your oranges, do you think of me? Candy. All the females I've ever written about have destroyed me. And when a woman I love destroys me, I only see in black and white for a while. The soul in emergency mode. Can't bother with processing color. But I dreamt of you last night in color, pink-haired, blue-dressed you. What shall we do now? I say, the U.S. You say, what? I say, us. You say, tears, tears, us. We get naked, run off, singing. With your kiss, my life begins. Wild is the grin. Wild is the sin. Don't you know your life is? But I went chained to the porch, pigtailed, gray-haired lady on tricycle in tears, monkeys dead, dolphins belly up, suicides all. And I roared for you, staggering off the porch. Don't jump off the bridge, I say. I will not forget you, I say. La 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 la. You say thumbs and ears, fingers wiggling. All the women I've loved have mood disorders. Yes, we do. They sing in chorus of their own voices, and so do you, and so does life itself. And the little bluebirds fly from your mouth, and Whitecarroll's cackling somewhere. Brush the moon dust, stop your twinkling in my sky. Nailed to a cross is no way to love. Take these nails from me, take them and sing like you used to. Sing like you used to, please. And we are free to drink, to puke, to die. Don't forget to eat your oranges. Twinkle, twinkle, candy bright eyes. Our heads are hot, fever insane, forever Yamhill, Oregon. Tractors, children, moon, tricycle song. And Salvador Dali's ants have devoured time, and we are free. So, you have returned. I am still chained to the porch near the bucket of beer, and all my precious dead. I am dying. Will you at least refill my bucket? Couple more. I find it interesting, of the thousands of women I've loved in my life, this blessed life of fucking living the open mic life, where you get everything you fucking want, even if you don't get paid for it. The person I've loved most, the love of my life, was born a boy. This is for Robin, who lives on planet Amsterdam now.
I love Robin!
I'd like to write nice someday. I'd like to write nice someday. A poem to share with my parents, not offensive to their summer slave camp America. I'd like to write about trees, magnificent, multi-foliate trees, naked, sunny, sweaty, red-legged trees, beckoning with cup in their crotches. But when I see trees, I see broken fingers and bunches ripping out to the suffering ground, tortured insomniatic ground, trees that scream, no, to be a wandering corpse is my dream, to be a zombie writing poems on the complex metaphysics of eating brains. You, Christ nailed to a broken middle finger, I come for you with my own good news. I go back to year zero, stab you in the manger, squeal, squeal, war-hungering God, squeal, squeal, adversary of free mind in the cock vagina sunrise. I am smiling, I eat your brain. I'd like to write nice someday a brief lyrical piece about my ex-wife. How sublime the sun bleeds and the chains of our domesticity. Gashes in the wall where your hurled knives strike. How wide you spread your legs for others our whole time. While I slave to pay for our whole time. The stars you scoop from my mind and toss in the trash I can't get back. The same I do to you. We are same. Tight and cold is our final draft. No more commingling in the kitchen. No more moaning amid the night. Radiance is one hot, wet organism. No more grace. I'd like to write nice someday. I'd like to not languish when I wake. Pornthemorning.com/languish. I jacked off twice by noon. Finish this poem. Jack off again. Languish till I'm back on stage. 6 minutes to thrive. There's a new smoking hot poet in town. It would never work. She's an alpha female. Guess I'll go back to my little notebook and beer. Keep my crush on the page where it's safe. Oh, dark Lord, let me languish no more. Breathe deep your dark music into my lungs that I may sing something true. A girl giggling in the waves before the rage of going mute. My shoulders slouch from the weight. Take this rage away. I'd like to write nice someday. There, a robin on a branch with a worm in her beak. In her brain are pretty constellations, each is named. She named one for me. She taught me how to sing, not pretty things, true things. The true is not always pretty, my robin taught me. My robin is the prettiest bird in the world, shape-shifting, tender, wild. Emily Dickinson, pansexually risen, hatching from the prison. Moonward she rises, flesh-made words, words made flesh. The worm in her beak is me. The sun on the leaves is blood. Conjugal of robin and worm illicit. Crazy, mashing, bestiality of lives crazy. I'd like to write nice someday, but when I wake, the robin at my side has tears which blaze in the feathers of her face. I nuzzle against them. I try to lick them back to happiness. Too much. I can't lick fast enough. My face should not have feathers, she says. My face is ugly. My feathers ugly. Not you are the prettiest bird in the world. Ain't nothing gonna stop you now. I desire the suffering ground happy. Every God-forsaken leaf. Robin, worm, it's too much. Cold draft, I can't, I lack, I crack. Swallow me down, Robin, make me not be. Neither Robin on the branch, nor Robin in my bed, act as I wish. They simply smile from their stanzas. They are poems with a lot of shit in them. They are words made flesh. They keep me alive with the rage and blaze of life. My life ranting cunt and fuck on the mic. Poems I can't show my parents. Someday I'd like to write nice. Today is not. There's languish to lick. Heat on a plate. High, hot, pressed to my face. Lust, fear, pain. Oh, I got one more. Let's see if I can fix this. No, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
Can you grab those little Jimmy? It doesn't matter because I want to talk about the squirrels now. We'll get some more. Curtis Whitecarroll, technical expert. A hand for Curtis, who's hosting the event. Twice every month now, Curtis hosts the event. I'll finish with, where did it go? I'll finish with my last poem when I can find it. Here it is. Oh, yeah, that's it. Yeah. If it's not in order, I'll just make shit up like I always do. I walked by Reed College a couple weeks ago and was sort of horrified by the sort of staleness and general impotence of it. So I'll conclude with, oh, and by the way, I have CDs for sale of my big controversial K-Boo performance with the legendary Walt Curtis in December, in which he accused me of being molested as a kid. But actually, I was abused as an adult like all of us are, but I have those on sale for $5 if anybody wants. I'll finish with the idea of impotence at Reed College. Night is not a negligee inlaid with flames, not an inspiration, not a daily blessing to me. The teeth of her nethers never sleep. I step towards her mystery, stop, return to the daytime safety of my little word games and the rageful grief of my fellow animals. I throw peanuts to the squirrels, jays, crows, and say, no use the rage, the echoes of bombast, the nocturnal scream-kiss carnival. In the end, I didn't raise the dead. I made noise, sometimes joyful, never for God, but for the wholesome demons the birds worship, worm half swallowed, languishing in throat. Consider the squirrel. Once I saw one clacking loudly up a tree with another squirrel in her mouth. I think the other squirrel was injured. It clearly needed to be carried. About 20 feet up, the injured squirrel fell from the other's mouth. The other tenderly retrieved her, dropped her again, retrieved, dropped, ran off with a rageful squirrel cry. I swear fucking God, it was a rageful squirrel cry. God, with her advanced presence and tenderness, I would bring to our bed if you were still in it. The squirrel also knows the fierceness and rage of failing to save the one she loves. The squirrel can't raise the dead either. So I accept the fertilizer go round. The gallows laughter of swollen lymph nodes. This dream-haunted song turned funny to call to sleep. Calm down. I need to fucking calm down. There's enough nuts for everyone. Nuts! The severed ant remnants reanimate, return to the uncertain hills. Snow falls on lymph nodes. Godless glory of snow. Not yet. Not yet. This brain, this tongue, not done. Turbo wheel, not done. On the wheel, burning. Because dying early smacks of cliche, I desist for now. But the death I urge is not invited to my eschatology party. It is not my peer. Near the end, Grandma's vagina was occupied by God. Grandma said near the end, Mikey, I'll spread my legs only for the Lord. Her relationship with it was different. I'll never understand how Grandma loved. Grandma, with her occupied by God's vagina, was nuts, but always nice. Trying to pass the elephant past the mice across the wind-battered high wire. I got 2 peanuts, we all got bad credits. I played in the pagan world, but it's another lie like science and Buddhism and the baby Jesus. In the end, I'm left with a soft penis and ramen noodles unenjoyed. Regrets for the humans I failed to save. And the 1% can give a fuck if the rest of us got tumors and boils, scabies and rabies, consumption and athlete's woes. 1,000 cancers consuming our soul-brain constellations. Where is help to be found? Not here, says the mirror. Adrift in the interstices of tears with a cell phone in a buckle vibe. We got a final 2 deal, right, honey? You and me against the interstices. No dice? Well, don't worry about me. I'll be cowering in the afterworld Jack Shack. Shredding paper because the Langoliers are coming. Shredding paper because the Langoliers are coming. I've been reported for suspicious inactivity. Vienna sausages are like tumors, but it's lunch, so I better swallow it, and I can give a fuck about which village my grandfather was born in. I just witnessed a hummingbird bypass our feeder to feed upon the spider webs. Poor fucks! Of course, I make things up. Everyone makes things up. The universe is made up of made-up things. Where is truth to be found? Not here. The carnies concern me. I worry about their cabbage-based diet, their uncanny ability to guess everyone's weight, and how they go town to town, slapping up those double-train upside-down Ferris wheels overnight. Pressed against the cage door, I pray to the bolts, be tight. Cooking my ramen noodles using the Old Testament as fuel. I'm done licking the floor for leftovers. Insanity of empire, USA, USA. We are not machines saved by loving grace. We are animals who failed in radical empathy. Consider the Costa Rican sloth. It reaches to pluck a leaf. The elephant falls asleep. YouTube it for the laughs. I like fucking around with women for the laughs, not the orgasm. All those funny noises, faces contorted like clowns. That's why I only fuck around with friends. Best chance for the laughs, because we're already comfortable with each other and it ain't serious. Fucking around should not be like church or court or a job interview. If it don't include laughs, count me out. The sloth agrees. In the end, I didn't raise the dead. I made noise, sometimes cheers and laughs, sometimes the bald spots quickly clearing the room. My joy was not for God. Tell my mother, I made you laugh and cry. Tell my mother, my life mattered to others. Tell my mother, night is not a lover, it's just fucking dark. In the end, I pray that Leslie will make me a vampire that will spoon each other forever in our blood-red double-wide coffin. Oh, sorry, that's not in the poem. I mean, in the end, I pray to know God with the invincible eye for the cessation of vibration now, forever. Amen. And you, tender friend, like me, just want to be loved for who you are, don't you? For all that you are, good and bad. For all that you are, good and bad.
Mike.
Yeah. What happened? Oh no. Anybody have a plug? Oh, I got a plug. Do we have an extension cord? If we don't, it's well, we got most of it. Okay. Let's see what I can do.